Adam Zansi, welcome to it. It's yet another episode of GameON as we look at the danger of those at the bottom of the log out in Germany, in England, as well as here in South Africa, including the drama at the top. We will, of course, be speaking later on with regards to the South African game to Jerry's Kosana. Right now, we start off in talking about the English game with Shane McGregor. Shane, great to be in your company. Let's switch things up a bit today. Let's start by looking at the bottom of the table. Now, we've got Southampton that are pretty much done and dusted in as far as their future. They're looking like they headed straight back down to the championship. But Leicester, Ipswich, both in 17 points, and 5 points, both of them behind Wolves. Let's talk about that race at the bottom.
Yeah, good to be here again. Yeah, as we said, Southampton are dead and buried, and unfortunately for them, they were setting the ways early in the season, playing from the back, conceded a lot of goals like that, and they didn't change it, and they're going to be gone. Well, not going to be gone; they are gone. They're going to be in the championship. The other two, out of the other two, I think Ipswich out of those two have got the biggest chance. Though I think that they're both in trouble. I do. Wolves. You look at Wolves and you look how they have improved. They're not a bad team. It's just that they've been unlucky this whole season. Lucky with injuries. That's changing. A lot of their players are coming back. So when you look at it overall, can anyone the other two catch them?
Catch Wolves, 5 point difference. I can't
see it, 5 points difference. Yeah. There's 11 games to go, so can it happen? I can't see it. I think Wolves will be safe. It's going to be a bunk fight out of those two.
The form guide also sort of tells us a story here. I mean, for Leicester, 1 win in their last 5. For Ipswich, no wins in the last 5. The best they've been able to do is 1 draw out of the last 5. So both those sides struggling for form.
Struggling big time for form, and at this time of the season, this is the most critical time. People don't realise the stress and pressure that players go under in the English league. And at this stage, it's a lot of tired legs. A lot of people are actually looking to get to the end of the season, and unfortunately for them, they haven't got the resources to bring players in. So that's the big problem.
When you look at the sides that are hovering just above Wolves, does this come as a surprise to you? 13th spot, Tottenham. 14th, Man United. 15th, West Ham. Everton have been thereabouts. But the other three I've mentioned, Tottenham, Manchester United, and West Ham at 13th, 14th, 15th. Does that not come as a surprise to you?
A bit of a surprise. Spurs, I understand, because of their injury woes. They really have had a long list of injuries. Man United, I'm not surprised. Man United, it's the worst Man United I've ever seen. I mean, worst Man United side I've ever seen. And I'm saying that categorically, worst side I've seen. For me, West Ham are one of those teams up and down. I mean, I don't understand them. One season they're brilliant, the next season they're terrible. But no building for the future. As I say, but Spurs I understand because of all the injury woes. But Man United, big trouble. Man United now are laying off people. They laid off 200 people 2 weeks
behind the scenes.
Behind the scenes, So if you look at that, there's big money troubles there. So where are they going to go for in the future?
Now, when you look at the top, 67 points for Liverpool, Arsenal on 54. Again, I have to ask you, maybe on a weekly basis now, is the race done and dusted?
I'm a Liverpool supporter. I don't want to put my eyes on them and say over and done with. But the way Arsenal play at the moment, without a striker, it's a big worry. They're not getting the goals, and that's the big worry. They're not scoring a lot of goals. So, Liverpool just seem to. I actually watched them midweek in Europe. They were outplayed by PSG completely, but they got a 1-0 result. So that just shows you they know how to eke out victories.
In fact, the goal issue with Arsenal is quite clear. They've got a better defensive record than Liverpool, believes another 3-goal difference. But Liverpool have scored 61, Arsenal 51.
That's the thing.
That's
they can't score. They can't score, and that's a big problem with Arsenal at the moment. Playing without a striker, and they've also got players out injured. We must remember that. So you got to be aware that they got their top players are out injured. So injuries play a big part of this, and Liverpool started like in the beginning of the season, but then they came right with all the injuries. So
Now, let's talk fixtures coming up. Big one, starting off shortly. Nottingham Forest against Manchester City. Huge game, this.
Massive game. Forest have been the surprise team in the season. I think a draw's on the cards, to be very honest there.
Crystal Palace, arguably the most improved side from the beginning of the season up till now. They're up against Ipswich, of course, with their troubles.
I think Ipswich can actually get a draw out of this.
Palace is at home, though.
I know. I'm still saying I think Ipswich can get a draw here, but you've got to be leaning towards Palace.
Liverpool at home to Southampton.
Oh, wow. Stranger things have happened, but you can't see anything but a Liverpool victory.
Now, Chelsea in the race for a top 4 spot against Leicester. Again, another side that's in trouble with
Exactly. And when these teams are battling like this, they've got nothing to lose. So they're going to go forward. Chelsea are unpredictable. On their day, they can beat any team, but you've got to catch them on their day. I'm don't even want to stay out. I'm going to stay out of this altogether. I've actually taken a bet already for the weekend. I left it out.
Now, can we say the same thing about Manchester United at home to Arsenal? On their day, against these big sides, sometimes United have performed over the last couple of years. Can they do likewise against Arsenal?
Have you been looking at my notes? That's exactly what I said. Man United, when they come up against big teams, they do well.
Yeah.
And Arsenal misfiring in front, I can see a draw in the cards. I really do, just because of that. If you look at it on paper, Arsenal should whip them.
Yeah.
But because of exactly what we said, Man United lift their game, Arsenal misfiring, draw.
Anything's possible. Now, there's another game that's of importance. We discussed West Ham and where they are, but Newcastle again in the race for the top 4. We can't ignore that. West Ham is at home here. Do you see it being smooth sailing for Newcastle, or maybe a bit of an uphill battle? I would argue uphill battle. Uphill
battle, because when Newcastle go away, if you look at their away form, it's not the greatest. And I don't understand this team. They blow hot and cold as well. They haven't been consistent throughout the year. At home, their 12th man, the crowd lift them completely. Away from home, it's a different story. This is a difficult one to call. It really is a difficult one to call. West Ham will want to get the points, but so do Newcastle to keep that race going. I don't know. I'm staying out of it altogether.
Plenty of talk about the striker Isak as well, and with regards to interest from other clubs. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in the off-season. That's how I look at what's happening out in England. It's interesting at the top, the top 4 race, and down at the bottom as well. Shane is not done for now. We'll take a little bit of a break. He'll come back later. We'll discuss what's happening out in Germany. Between that, Jerry Skosana will step in.
Want a bet?
You are on.
Breaking news. Gogo takes her prize challenge to a penalty shootout.
Aziz again.
Let's go.
Brian looks confident here. What? He's completely missed it. Here comes Gogo. And what a kick! She's done it! She's done the impossible! Hollywoodbets, Azisheke, let's play.
Welcome back to Game On now. Joyce Kasana slides in. It's time to talk about the local games. So much happening in the PSL, so much happening in the Nedbank, and plenty to talk about. Let's go back to Saturday. Pirana, good to be in your company, by the way. Le game is Kumanga Sonke. It's Mungibona Sonke. Mamelodi Sundowns and the Kaizer Chiefs. Only 1 goal. Some were expecting maybe 4 or 5 goals. What did you think of the performance from Sundowns, now the Chiefs?
Thanks, Caesar. I think for me, that's the game I really enjoyed. I think it was a different approach from with Chiefs, to be honest. But also, if you want to talk about the overall of the game, it can be complicated. But for me, people were expecting a lot of goals because of the problem at Chiefs and also Sundowns doing well. But I say the goal that Ribeiro scored, to me, takes the credit. It was just a cracker. What a goal, really.
Yeah, no, it sets him apart from the rest with the quality of goals as scored when you consider the one against Chiefs, not laying your foot against the Pirates where he ran from the halfway line. He really is standing out. But I have to talk about Imakesi. Because they're down at the bottom, looking to survive, new side in the PSL. But call Bashai Supersport 1-0. Supersport Bashai Chiefs before that.
Complicated, Papa.
Yeah.
You know, when you do betting, sometimes you'll always go with your heart and say, let me just close my eyes and betting because it's so unpredictable. You look at these small teams when they face big guns, you know, they always go all out. I mean, if you consider SuperSport beating Chiefs by 3 goals and then they go to Magesi, who are struggling, and then they lose to Magesi, and then you ask yourself a question,
yeah.
You know, because sometimes, Maso, in this betting platform, I should know, now they are doing well. But results will always be a problem. But yeah, PSL is just something which you cannot always rule out to say, you know, this is how it's going to go. There are things that surprises you. A lot of results that surprises you.
Big surprise. Out in the Free State as well, the Maruma Gallants, another side that's struggling. If I can show Orlando Pirates, I Gallants not only Bagora 2, but Bafala Ngasemo, but clean sheet 2-0.
Also a good performance for them, because if you look at the way they perform, I mean, they always do well. They play good football because of the support that they are getting from the people in Bloemfontein. But for Pirates, I don't know what happened, honestly, because you look at the coach who was not on the bench, and I don't know what's the inside of it. But yeah, it was a good a game with a new mentor at Marumo Gallants. I don't know, maybe he has changed their approach, but yeah, the way the players they were playing, I mean, it was something good, positive for football.
Midweek, Chiefs in a game of two halves, maybe, where Chiefs don't so great. First half, they make changes, 3 of them at the start of the second half. They overwhelm Makesi, one could argue, but only win 1-0 still.
You also look at the previous game where Makesi beat a team that beat Chiefs, SuperSport, and they go to play that team. You know, that they lost to the team that they beat. So sometimes that's where you take it wrongly and say, this is how it's going to pan out. But you got, yes, Makesi not getting it right in the first half, but they were playing good football. And Chiefs, they were lucky, honestly speaking. They were lucky to get that goal in the second half. Yeah, 1-0 for Chiefs to get the 3 points, moral boosting.
Player of the match, coach of the match, Sundowns. Big news, Golden Arrows, new coach, former Sundowns coach, Mangoba Mwiti. With so much to talk about. Arrows, Sundowns came back. We were going to limp.
No, it was exciting.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can tell, there is something I tell about final about Arrows. Because when I was watching the game, there was a lot of fatigue because they wanted to work. Losing the ball and also tracking back, you could tell, even if people will understand. But the way they attack and lose the ball, they all come back. I mean, that was just great. You can tell Mangoba Mwiti is one of the best coaches that we've got in the country. And thanks for him to come back after a long period of being sidelined. So I think it was a good game to watch.
The Pirates needed to bounce back. Out in the Eastern Cape against Chippa United, who haven't been great in recent times. Chippa United, they've got some problems in finding consistent wins, but the Pirates are winner 1-0.
Yeah, if you look at from Richards Bay drawing 0-0 in KZN, and then going home thinking that maybe Pirates losing 2-0 to Marumo Gallants, we're going to also get the 3 points out of Pirates, but a different approach from Pirates. And yeah, they won 1-0. It was also good for them.
Now, Richards Bay down at the bottom, struggling as well to try and avoid a relegation earlier on in the year. But now they've climbed up to 12 spots on the log. They've had great results in recent times. Bapinda Bashane is Kukune United now. It's Kukune United. This is our song in the season. Bashane 2-1. They're doing well at Richards Bay. Yeah, they are doing well. So somehow you look at the teams that are there at the bottom, you know, because we don't know what's going to happen in terms of Real AM with all the saga in the PSL. But these teams, maybe they're just trying to run away in getting into the promotional relegation playoff. You know, you've got Makesi, Richards Bay, little bit of SuperSport, because I saw them also. SuperSport, 21 points, Imakesi 17, so Imarumena 19.
Still tight.
So it's still tight for SuperSport. Did you expect them to pass over SuperSport in Aleskati?
No, you wouldn't expect that, really. Because if you look at their performance against Chiefs, you would tell that they can play better. You know, they can play better, but look at where they are. But let's wait and see what's going to happen with them, Real AM, because a lot of games that needs to be played.
But the Pirates couldn't bank up SuperSport.
No, they won't get it. Pirates going to win that one.
Kaiser Chiefs, Stellenbosch.
Yo.
It's tough one, eh?
It's a tough one. But let me say Chiefs are going to go through.
And then Skukune, Mamelodi Sundowns, very good game this.
Mamelodi Sundowns to win.
And then I have to ask you, Durban City, David against Mini Goliath. Mara, you could argue they got the favor of the draw here, but Marumo Gallants at home.
But if I look at Marumo Gallants, last 2 games, yes, winning one and then losing the other one, I think they will go through.
Right. Well, there you have it. That's a look at what's been happening in the PSL, what also could be happening in the Nedbank Cup. Thank you so much to Jairus Kosana. On the other side of this, of course, Shane McGregor returns, and we talk about all things Bundesliga. Welcome back to Game On, and let's waste no time and get straight back into the German League with Shane McGregor, who rejoins us here on set. Shane, of course, the big talk is always about what's happening out at the top, and Bayern Munich, well, I thought they could be in for a tough one here against Stuttgart, go away from home, and, the scoreline suggested it was somewhat comfortable, 3-1 the win in favour of Bayern.
Yeah, great result for them, They just seem to keep going and getting stronger as the season going on. So, good luck to them. Good win. Much needed. Keep the pressure on Leverkusen.
Leverkusen, for all their worth, they're trying to make it interesting in the end. It's just Bayern on slipping up, but they travelled to Eintracht Frankfurt and went 4-1. That's a convincing win.
That's a very convincing win, considering that Frankfurt have been having a good season, and especially going there. A great one for them, 4-1. Also, once again, they have to win every game to try and put the pressure on Bayern, but Bayern have just been too professional, too good at this stage. But another good season for Alonso.
On a big year for Bayern, when you say they're just too good. 125th anniversary, 33 German championships, 6 European Cups, or European Champions League as we refer to these days. But here's a club that's amongst the very best in the world and setting the standard year in and year out.
Yeah, especially in Germany. They keep going, they keep on winning. This jersey they're going to be playing in, they've got a special jersey they're going to be playing against Bochum in. It's going to be a collector's item. So if anyone gets one of those, it's going to be, you're going to hold on to it, for a lifetime.
Yeah.
But what can we say about them? They just seem to keep on doing it. They don't seem to falter. They lose players and they just seem to reproduce and bring others in. Kane has been brilliant there for them this season, but not just Kane. They've got a very good squad. So, with this new jersey, and the women's team going to wear it the next week when they're home, what can we say?
Now, of course, that game is happening at 4:30 today. Bayern Munich against Bochum. One time only, this jersey. When speaking of the culture of the club, over the years, when they have stumbled, and I'm talking by stumbling, maybe not winning too convincingly. We've heard past players always contributing, past legends, and sometimes putting pressure when needed on some of the answers of the club. I think Mateus is one that comes to mind. What do you think of that, and how the past legends are so vested into the club and they're always contributing in some other way? That's
one thing I do like about Bayern, and it's not just him. You got Rummenigge, you got the rest of them. They've all had their say, they've all had their input. It does help the club, and it's all part and parcel of their culture. It's very much the German culture. I think it's a good thing. I think it's that the young players of today can learn from past players, and I think that's a very good thing.
Real legends too.
Exactly. So that's why I say I think it's a very good thing.
Now, Bochum, Bayern at home, by the way.
Well,
big celebration, by the way.
Let's just hope that the
legendary jersey, by the way.
But I can't see it. I can't see it. It's a good game to be playing against Bochum struggle, so I can't see anything but a Bayern one.
Now, Leverkusen up against Werder.
Have to win. It's a simple have to win. I do think they'll get the job done. As I say, he's a very good coach. I do think they'll get the job done to try and keep the pressure on Bayern.
Dortmund have had exciting times in recent times. They're up against Augsburg.
Yeah, Dortmund have been going very well. Scoring goals left, right and centre. I can't see anything but a Dortmund win. They have changed it. They have changed around. They were struggling one side, but they are on an upward trend now, so I think they'll win,
Interesting, again, when you look at the top 3, top 4, Eintracht is still there at third spot. Mainz rounding up the top 4 with 1 point separating them and Freiburg. So a bit of a battle in that there's just 2 points that separate those 3 sides. Yeah,
but I do think Frankfurt will keep going. They've had a very good season, the season that they've don't want to forget. So I think they'll keep it going, but it's going to be a close one. Still a few games to go. Be very close for their 3rd and 4th spot. Now, great news here from a South African point of view, in that the women's game is up and running with the Hollywoodbets Super League having started just a week ago. Let's take a special focus into the University of Pretoria ladies team, also known as Amatax Ladies.
Hello, GameON. Welcome to Tux.
The University of Pretoria, also known as Tux, needs no introduction when it comes to the sporting world. Known throughout the globe for its elite sporting facilities, they have produced some of the finest athletes and footballers in our country, and in their football program, they're looking to continue that trend. The UP Tax women's team compete in the Hollywoodbets Super League, and while last season wasn't perfect, they believe that if they get their pre-season program right, it'll bear fruit for the coming campaign.
Pre-season is everything where it starts, for the league and everything, and it's where the movement of players and then releasing new players coming in. So it's quite a challenging season, but it's the most important thing. It's more like a base, So if you get your pre-season right, it's where you're gonna get everything right because of I can make an example. That's where you want to see the combinations of the players. That's where you want to see the tactics of the team, which is going to work for the personnel that you've chosen. And then the other thing is that do you have the right players for your right system or the formation that you're going to use? So it's quite a challenging one, but it's quite an exciting one to see new talent,
Football has evolved so much, and the need for sports scientists and strength and conditioning trainers has really shot up because they play a key role not only in pre-season but during the busy campaign.
So the role of a sports scientist is to ensure that the team is fit and they're achieving their highest performance throughout the season, especially reducing the risk of injury. Specifically in pre-season, it's building up that fitness, that endurance that is necessary for them to play the sport, to endure throughout the entire league, and then also decreasing that risk of injury that could happen throughout the league.
It's really, really important because I think if you check the game now, most of the teams, the people who run the show are the sports scientists and the strength and conditioning coaches in terms to make sure that the players are prepared for the games that they're going to face. Because now, if you check in the past, teams used to run around the field, doing laps around the field, but if you check now, everything has to be specific because we deal with specific adaptations to impose demands. The players have to be ready for what they're going to face on the pitch. You can't just train. You can't separate training from the match, so yeah.
For the players, they do admit that pre-season isn't always fun, but a necessary and crucial part of the game.
No player likes this time of the season. Like pre-season is the least favorite for everyone, I think. But for us, it's all about progress and process. Like we just need to work and just prepare for the season and make sure that we are ready for the new season.
All right, well done. Thanks for pushing the session. I know it's not easy, always training, not playing, so. But other than that, let's bear in mind that we are building something and we need to have a basic, we need to have a foundation that is solid, okay? So but other than that, it's all about the mentality. If you feel tired, you keep pushing, okay? So it's not about punishing you, it's all about making sure that when we kickstart the league, everybody at least is on a better level to compete on the league, okay? But other than that, the effort that you're making, it makes a difference.